What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the holotables, and welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your boy Scribe. I am late on this, but we are starting off our Conquest videos. I'm going to get these out as lickety split as I possibly can, so if you need help getting all of the feats done in Sectors 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'm your man, you got it? Let's break down Sector 1. Quick overview before we begin then. Each sector within Conquest has got 22 battle nodes. 20 of those are just your standard nodes, as you can see here, these little golden path ones on this case, and then you have 2 nodes of which are bosses. So we've got a mid-sector boss here, that is a Tusken team, and at the end for Sector 1, we have got a Darth Revan team. Those 2 nodes will have their own individual additional feats that we will tackle independently, as well as the sector, as we go through, has got 4 feats. I will tackle global or event feats separately in a different video. Okay, Sector 1, what do we need to do? Gain evasion up 50 times, defeat 50 enemies with clone trooper units, gain secret intel 60 times, and win 20 battles with a full squad of Spectre. So, public service announcement before we begin: if you are late game, early game, mid game, wherever you happen to be, this 20 wins with a full squad of Spectre allies is completely skippable. You can skip about 34 key cards in a Conquest and still get that red box. 20 battles is a lot, especially if you do not have built-out Spectres, because let's face it, not many people will have worked on their Spectres just yet. If you've got them, fine, go ahead, farm it as you're going through, farm it on the bonus node at the end of the sector to gain yourself some Datacron materials, but I would advise most people just skip this feat, it's not worth the hassle. Apart from that, secret intel 60 times and evasion up 50 times, those are cheesable feats. We can get that done in one battle and one battle alone. And finally, 50 enemies with clone trooper units. Now, if you want to get the clone trooper units, there are quite a few good clone trooper teams. If you want to double dip with global feats, I recommend you going with OG Bad Batch in this early sector to get yourself some kills. Teams to look out for will be anything that can respawn or summon additional units. Jango Fett over here, his leadership is actually quite useful. Him and Boba Fett both have got Bounty Hunter's Resolve, which means they will revive once, so you can use Clone Troopers to defeat them multiple times. But if you also drag out the battle on this and let the enemy hit Contract, Jango Fett's leadership will provide Bounty Hunter's Resolve for the entire team, meaning you could defeat Jango Fett once, Boba Fett once, let them hit Contract, everybody regains Bounty Hunter's Resolve, and then you can defeat every single unit in extra time, which means theoretically you can more than double the number of kills you would normally get in one battle. Quite useful to look out for. Alternatively, I didn't get one this time, unfortunately. You want to keep an eye out for a Mon Mothma team that happens to feature something like Xaereth Rebel Pathfinder, okay? A node like this, Mon Mothma, and in particular Chirrut and Xaereth Rebel Pathfinder. As long as he has a buff, which you'll get from Chirrut when you crit him, you will always be able to revive. You can farm that ad nauseum for kills. Failing that, you can go in with your 501st, you can go in with OG Bad Batch, you can even go in with the new Darkside clones if you've got them, just to get kills as you progress throughout the sector. Lots of really decent teams to get that done. Another public service announcement: you really do want to keep your eye out for a team that you can cheese some of these feats with. I've in the past used Droideka nodes over here. Droidekas are very useful because they can go into damage immunity and you can lock them down to farm buffs and debuff abilities. If you don't have these, sometimes a crew node might be able to work. I find Sector 1 crew is just a little bit too weak to survive the damage output, but if you've got lower geared units, maybe crew is a solution for you. The ideal node is a separatist node similar to this one over here. A separatist node that has Jango Fett in it. Now, I didn't get one for this sector, but if you do find a separatist node whereby Jango Fett is in the team, he will start the battle with damage immunity for 2 turns, and that is a really easy way of farming buffs and debuff feats. We are going to begin then by getting evasion up 50 times and secret intel 60 times in one battle. In this example, I'm going to be using this particular node, and we're going to take advantage of Droideka. You do not necessarily need any particular data disks to make this work, so don't look at my data disks here. They're not going to be worthwhile for you. All you want is anything that's going to give you some damage output, okay? Just a little bit of damage output to kill the enemy team, but not enough to kill Droideka straight away. In order to get this done, we're taking a standard CLS team, we're dropping C-3PO out in order to throw BB-8. BB-8 is the only unit in the entire game that can provide secret intel, and we just need to spam some specials in order to make that done. BB-8 and a random ally who does not have it gains secret intel unique buff for 3 turns, and then BB-8 is gaining 8% turn meter. So every time we do the wiggle action with our good boy BB-8, we're going to be getting secret intel on 2 characters, okay? And we need to spam that incessantly. 3PO and Chewie is our source of evasion down. You can see he's got that on a basic, and we're going to be doing a lot of basics. Let's go into it then. The premise of this is very, very simple and straightforward. We need to wait until Droideka over here has gone into damage immunity, okay? I'm going to start off by taking out Wat Tambor, because I don't want him passing any tech over. Wiggle, wiggle. There is some of our wonderful secret intel. We've defeated an enemy. We're going to leave Droideka over here alone, and then I'll go after Asajj Ventress. Wonderful. Hopefully, in a second now, Droideka is going to roll up. There's that damage immunity. As soon as he's gone into damage immunity, ladies and gentlemen, you want to do a attack. That's going to trigger not only tenacity down, but also evasion down from that basic. We need that tenacity down to make sure that we can take away his turn meter. After that, we're just going to start taking out some units. Make sure you do not dispel any buffs over here. You're going to do that wiggle action, and then it's basics with everybody else, okay? So you could do this in 2 ways. You can just go, like, I'm just going to put this on auto basic just for a couple of minutes, and we're going to sit back, we're going to relax, we're going to have a real good time. Trust me, everybody, it's going to be great. And you can just farm this away, and what that's going to do is that is going to constantly give you sources of this evasion down. You can see it over here on Droideka right now. Evasion down. It doesn't look like it, but that's constantly being reapplied. You only need to do it 60 times, which means Chupio over here needs to attack, or basic, 60 times in order for it to happen. It doesn't actually have to land, you just have to attempt to land it, okay? So he assists whenever a rebel uses an ability, so you just need to cycle through 60 abilities with your rebel allies. Now, when you feel like you've done enough of those, you need to take it off auto basic, do the auto basics with everybody else, okay? The only person you don't want to do auto basic, do a basic with is BB-8. BB-8 is going to do that first special, okay? That's all it is. That is the entire secret, and you just let that go for as long as you can stomach, essentially. Now, if you've got particularly weak CLS, you can actually replicate this versus a crew node, and versus the crew node, you can actually go full auto unless you've got Chupio that's going to ramp up too much damage. I don't really like to try and do it in Sector 1. It's got too much risk of just defeating crew, unfortunately. So yes, doing these special abilities with BB-8 takes a little bit longer, but every time he's doing it, he's applying secret intel to 2 characters, so you just need to use that first special 30 times, essentially. And you can get that done very easily in this battle. Alright, if you are feeling like you want to finish off this battle, you can obviously just strip away the buffs with the first special here, or put it on full auto. Chewbacca and Chupio both have got AoE dispels, and you can clear out the battle. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to waste the stamina. That's 2 feats in 1 battle, baby. So, getting kills with clones. I've shown this, I spoke about this a little bit earlier in the video, but try to, if you can, use OG Bad Batch, because that will count towards the global feat as well. Finding any node that has got more than 1 summonable unit, you can use Geos, you can use Empire, you can use bounty hunters like this that have got additional revives in them. That's all really good business. Personally, I recommend just trying to use your OG Bad Batch as much as possible. Helps you with the global feat and progresses you along this conquest. Versus boss nodes in particular, or bounty hunter nodes, they are going to have that true defense active, so it's going to be a little bit slow at the start, but once you've built up, it becomes easy. I think I did this right at the beginning, so I had like no data discs, very first node of the conquest, just going in with my relic Bad Batch over here. I could probably just put it on auto. All of these are going to count as clone kills, all right? Good business. A word of caution, the new Bad Batch are not actually clone troopers. So whilst the new Bad Batch do count for the global feat of Bad Batch, they do not count for clone kills in Sector 1. All right, so it's just not going to work for you. You can see over here, I'm going up against a Geo node. What do we take in this time? Is it just 501st clones? Probably, I imagine. Yeah, so I'm going in with a Rex lead, and just taking in the 501st Clone Troopers and probably C-Rex. Yep, so this is a pretty decent team to be throwing in. C-Rex offers quite a bit of additional survivability, good source of AoE days as well. Geonosians in general, pretty good unit to be going up against, because they do have that Geo Brute that can resummon, and if you don't have too many ramping offense data discs, you can try and drag that battle out at least a little bit, so that that GBA can actually resummon a unit. So it just gives you 1 extra kill on top of the 6 standard. Now, I don't think he's going to. Oh, he did. I mean, you know, I can just say a fact and then be proven completely wrong almost immediately, but that gives you an extra kill, so we get 7 clone trooper kills in this one battle. Doesn't sound like much, but you can ramp it over time. Like I said, if you can go with something like this against like a Mon Mothma node, that is a decent way of trying to farm kills. So I'm not really going to show the full squad of Spectre. If you don't have GL Ahsoka Tano, you can actually still make it work with a General Hera Syndulla lead, especially if you've got a powerful Ezra Bridger Exile, but honestly, I just recommend skipping this feat. It's only worth 5 key cards, and it's 20 battles. Like I said, there are 22 battles in the sector. You don't want to have to wait all 20 of those trying to use Spectres, and you don't want to come back and stuff. It's just not worth your time or effort, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so mid-sector boss against the Tuskens then. What do we need to do? We need to win with 5 surviving, and we need to win with only dark side characters. These Tuskens, they are not a difficult team to take up and go against. Just don't try and use GG or something like that. If you want 5s to survive, use that clone trooper team I showed you earlier with C-Rex. Just try to make sure that you do not trigger that sacrifice. That will also help you get those clone trooper kills. Heading over to the end sector boss then. We have got win with Cal Kestis surviving and win with Hunter Mercenary surviving. Now this is the new Hunter, ladies and gentlemen, not the OG Hunter. You can actually double dip on these feats depending on how strong your teams are. Let's have a look at how I can get that done. So the data discs that I were using at the time of this recording, which was a couple of days ago now, we had stuff like Amplify Agni. That lets us do percentile damage whenever we do debuffs. Pretty good, especially if you've got Volatile Accelerator. I didn't find it at all, which is really painful. Assertive Command. This is actually quite a good 2-dot data disc. Whenever an ally uses a basic ability on their turn, call a random ally to assist, dealing less damage. Very useful, actually. Ruthless Offense. Stack our offense whenever our enemies drop below 100% health. Got 2 of them. Quickening data discs help us go faster, more speed. And then we've got Ruthless Debilitation over here. Sorry, apologies. Ruthless Debilitation, which means when our enemies drop below 100% health, they're going to get heal immunity and 2 slots of armor shred. Really, really good. And then offensive buffs, give me offense up, crit damage up, and crit chance up for 2 turns every time we start a turn, for 1 turn, sorry. I'm not saying you need these data discs, I'm just giving you an idea of what I used. This is the team that I'm running. Bam, Chewbacca, Han Solo, and then I'm running Cal Kestis and Hunter Mercenary. Both of these are relics, of course. Hunter Mercenary is only relic 1. So I found this one to be not too bad. If you've got a really particularly weak hunter, you might need to put a bit of gear on him, okay? So Bam Han Chewie, very useful, lots of turn meter, lots of damage output, okay? You want to focus on the correct units at the start. I like to go in straight after HK-47 immediately, take him out straight away, and then you have to hope that Marauder over there doesn't hit one of your units. I'm putting the damage into Darth Revan right now, see if we can defeat him. You cannot assist versus Darth Revan, but if you've got enough buffs, enough damage output, you can tap him down quickly. I'm saving Malak at the end here for last, and we're just hoping to build up those stacks of Whistling Birds quickly enough that we can do some good damage over here. So we got up to 17 stacks, and I'm going to plow all of that into Malak to hopefully get rid of him straight away. Got rid of the whole team, thanks to all the damage that we dealt. Pretty good way of getting it done, I found. HK first, and then deal the rest. Alright? Good. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Sector 1 done and dusted. Hopefully you found something useful there. If you stay tuned and hit that like button and this video gets over 2.5 likes, I will do a Sector 2 Conquest video. It's coming anyway. Check it out real soon. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Give this video a like and a comment. I'll see you all in Sector 2.